I'm Louise, the big head bookworm. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. This is the second part of my question and answer. So a month ago, I said, would you like to ask me? I've already filmed the first one, and as you can see, my voice is not so. I'll be there. Let's come on. Here we are. Right. So about a month ago, I said, would you like to ask me a question? And some of you went, yes. And so here I am giving some answers to your questions. I have already recorded one, and I drew the giveaway winner for that. And it was Alana from Alana Reads. And so she's getting 2 copies of Agatha Christie books in a beautiful facsimile edition. So I shall be sending those to her once she's got in contact with me. But I do, before I have launched into the question and answer, I have another parish notice. And this is from Sam of the Wild Women Do Club. She is to ask me to remind you that December's meeting is on the 15th. It is in the social club, and it is entitled Gin, Mother's Little Helper or Woman's Best Friend. So it should be a fantastic night. I recommend booking the 16th off. And I look forward to seeing everybody at the social club for a fantastic night. Okay, so let's get on to the questions. I have my laptop, so if I'm looking down, I am going to do that. And I'm going to start from where I left off with Alana Reads. So, Anne Jennings, giveaway. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see you too, Anne. Hope you're well. Can you recommend a book for our book club? We are a group of ladies over 65. Maybe one that is on your Lionel Richie list. Now then. Group of ladies over 65. Age is just a number as far as I'm concerned. Now, I was given this book this time. So I'm thinking about this time last year. No, this time 2 years ago. I was given this book. And I have recommended it before, but I think it would be a glorious book for a book club if I can ever get it out from here. Miss Garnet's Angel by Sally Vickers. That would be a very good book for a book club because there's a lot to talk about, a lot to think. So yeah, I would say that. That would be a good one. Is there a recent book that I've got over there that I could recommend? Oh, Hagseed by Margaret Atwood. Oh, that would be a good one. We've just done in our book club The Essex Serpent. So that was that had a mixed response. So yes, Sally Vickers, Miss Garnet's Angels, Hagseed by Margaret Atwood, or The Essex Serpent. There we go. That's what I would recommend. And I hope, let me know. None of those are on the Lionel Richie list. I wouldn't recommend that to Lionel Richie particularly, but I would say it's a goodie. Julie Dixon. Hello, Julie. How are you? I hope you're well. I would love to know which books from your collection you would pass on to your son at some point. Probably my Agatha Christie's, I would say. A lot of my crime books I would pass on. I would pass on my Agatha Christie's. I might well actually get a different collection of Agatha Christie's and pass those on to him because they're a bit terrible. I would also pass on, I have a lot of religious and spiritual texts, which I'm looking over there because that's where they are. They're in that bookcase. I probably have about one and another, all these ones down here. I probably have about 100, 200 of those books. And a lot of those are really amazing. And I would pass those on to him at some point when he's older. So yeah, those are the ones that I would think about doing. Janine. Hello, Janine. I've noticed that in several of your videos that you have a copy of The Gargoyle by Andrew Davidson in your bookcase. I'd like to know what you thought of it. I have a copy of The Gargoyle on my shelf as well. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but I wonder whether that's because of when I was reading it. It's quite fantastical, and I didn't love it. I would probably reread it again before I'd give myself an opinion. Sammy K, hello. Giveaway. How many books do you think you've owned in your whole life? Well, I've given away, and I have because I give away and I give to charity and throw away books when they're damaged and what have you, and not going to be, because there are some books like proofs and stuff like that you can't really sell or that kind of stuff. How many books do you think I've given away? More than I have, so I have about 3,500 at the moment. So I probably, my whole life, I've probably had about 8,000-9,000, I would say. Yeah, about that. Jessica reads things. I read Origin. Oh, so did I. Right, okay. Dawn W. Hello, Dawn. How are you, my lovely? I have enjoyed And Then There Were None and Murder on the Orient Express. I haven't read any more of Christie's works. Where would you suggest I go next? I would suggest... Did you say The Body in the Library? Murder on the Express. So, The Body in the Library by Agatha Christie. It's a Miss Marple. I would recommend that. That's a very good one. That's a very good one. And also, she leans over, Five Little Pigs, Dawn. So Miss Marple and Hercule Poirot. So Miss Marple, Hercule Poirot. You won't find these editions because they're very old, but it's The Body in the Library, which is a Miss Marple, and Five Little Pigs, which is an Hercule Poirot. Bum bum bum. Let's have a look. Steph. Hello, Steph. How are you? Who taught you to knit, and what was the first thing you knitted? My mum. My mum taught me to knit when I was 8 or 9, and I used to watch her knit, and the first thing I knitted was a scarf, and it was terrible. And it started about that big, and it ended about this big, and I ripped it out. Ash. Hello, Ash. Firstly, glad you're feeling a bit better. Thank you very much. Can you recommend another booktuber that has really captured your interest, introduced you to books you've never heard of, and expanded your TBR pile? Simon from Savage Reads, I would say. He's very much doing that. Or Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings. Olive from A Book Olive, I would say. Very much that. Also, my husband doesn't read. I've tried. Anything you can recommend that's utterly gripping and might get him hooked? Is he into fiction or non-fiction, Ash? That's what I would ask. Because if you're a fiction reader, you tend to suggest fiction. And if you're a non-fiction reader, it's a very different experience. So that would be my question to you. If you could leave me a comment telling me what your husband has read in the past that enjoys, what his kind of, give me a bit more about him, and then I can think of something. Margaret. Hello, Margaret. How are you? What is your all-time favourite crime book and your favourite author, and what is your favourite colour? Favourite crime book? It would be an Agatha Christie of some kind, or a Patricia Cornwell. I absolutely love Patricia Cornwell. She's here. She's not here. Her book's here. Can you imagine if I had Patricia Cornwell down here? How are you, love? I'm all right, thanks. What are you doing down in my bookcase? So yes, Patricia Cornwell, I would say. Is there a favourite? Oh, the first Patricia Cornwell's very good. Postmortem. Recommend that. Postmortem by Patricia Cornwell. Or an Elizabeth George, a song for Eleanor. It's a brilliant one. Song for Eleanor. I recommend that. Favourite author? I don't have a favourite author. What is your favourite colour? Green. Dum dum dum. Amanda. Hello, lovely. When you say you can ask me anything, okay, what is your favourite cake? I don't have a favourite cake. Does Odd Socks bother you? No, I like Odd Socks. Have you ever voted for the Monster Raving Loony part? No. Did you ever bunk off school? No. No, I didn't. I was a real goody two-shoes. I loved learning at school. I was one of those people. And I did used to go and sit and smoke at lunchtime. Ooh, but no, swigging Bacardi breezes. No, but Amanda, if you want to do it now, I'm right there. Do you like pina colada? Yes. And getting caught in the rain? Amanda, you're speaking my language. Do you know the way to Amarillo? No, but I'll find it with you. And most importantly, how much is that doggy in the window? It's free to you. Okay. Is there a favourite story that your mum read to you as a child? No, but my mum's favourite book was Jane Eyre. My mum's favourite book was Jane Eyre, and she bought me a copy when I was in my teens and said, This is my favourite book, and I loved it. My mum didn't read books to me particularly. She read Thomas the Tank Engine, but she made up the stories because she thought they were too dull. My mum and dad fostered children when I was 5. They did it before I was born, and then when I was 5 they started, and they fostered babies that were either mentally or physically handicapped, so needed a lot of work. So when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of time for that kind of stuff. So I was brought up in an amazing household full of love, but there was an element of you've got to get on with it yourself. So yes. And that you've read to Benedict? No, there's nothing really. Oh, it's 101 Dalmatians. Anyway, much love to you. Bruna, hello Bruna. How many unread books do you have? I have no idea. I have a selection. I'm just looking over there. Not being rude and ignoring you. I'm looking over there because that's where my books are. I have some books that I consider like my TBR, which are books that I've put all together. And there are books that I have bought in the last couple of years and that I've put together and that I quite often go pick from. So I would say there's probably about 200 of those. I probably have about 50 to 60 books on the Kindle that I haven't read. Scattered throughout my actual book collection, I would say there's probably a couple of 100 books that I haven't read. There are some that I have read some of and not others. I also have a lot of non-fiction that I may not have read completely, but know an awful lot. I've also got a lot of plays and poetry, which I haven't read, but have kept for other things. So yeah, so there we go. Giveaway. Do you read books where the main character has the same name as yours? Louise, yes. And I always find it weird. Amy, giveaway. Have you ever read the Outlander series? No. Should I? Should I read it, Amy? What do you think? What type of romance is your favourite? Historical, contemporary, etc.? I don't have a favourite. I will read anything. I like clean. I like historical. I like contemporary. I like Mills and Boone. I like more erotica. The only thing about erotica is there's less of a plot, isn't it? It's much more the action is the plot, and I'm less keen on that. I do like there to be love attached and kind of more of a plot. But no, I don't have a favourite particularly. What is your favourite type of tea to drink? Normal black tea with a bit of milk in. Thank you very much, Sharon. Hi Louise, do you like to remember your favourite quotes and moments in books? Do you take notes or tab pages or just reread? Thank you, Bethany. That's a very interesting question. No. I would say that sounds right. I don't take notes or tab pages or anything like that. I do in non-fiction and if I'm studying a book. So there are some spiritual and religious texts that I would consider that I read them to study them and to take them on in a different way. Other than that, no, I don't. I reread a lot, and I don't. Quite often on my channel, I don't talk about the books I reread. I talk about my new books because my reread books are just, I don't know, I don't consider them as interesting. I guess I would ask you, would you be interested in the books that I reread? I reread Agatha Christie's very regularly, and there are a lot of books that I reread. But no, other than that, I don't have a great memory for quotes. Moments in books I do, but quotes I don't have at all. Tammy, do you have a favourite cosy knitting mystery series? No, not at all, but I have been looking at trying to find one. Giveaway, just sort of a second question. Can you do an American US accent? No, thank you, Bridget. I really can't. I'm terrible at accents. What is your all-time favourite book? Hello, Crystal. No, I don't have. I did say in my other one some favourites. How many books do you have? About 3,500. Do you have any favourite editions you look to collect or that you own? I like the Penguin Classics. These are the cloth-bound classics, and I would more than happily collect those. I am currently getting a nice collection of these ones, the Laurie R. King. They have a nice 1920s, 30s covers. I love Up here, I've got Sydney Chambers hardbacks, which I like. Other than that, no. And I don't particularly feel like I have to collect books in a series with the same dust jacket. I mean, I like the look of them, but it doesn't bother me if they don't. So, but that's a very interesting question. Thank you very much, Jamie Blue. That's a very nice one. Have you reread your childhood favourites? Not for a long time. Not for a long time. My childhood favourites, Judy Blume. Oh God, I love Judy Blume. Oh, she was amazing, and I have been wondering about whether Benedict, when he's a teenager, will be interested in them, and I just think he won't. Yeah, I just don't think. No, and I haven't reread them because I want to keep the enjoyment that I had then, because I'm a different person now, and I will read them as an adult, and me reading them as an adult, I will see different things in them, and I will alter that memory. And I read them at that time and enjoyed them then, and so I'm going to keep them there. I hope that makes sense. So yes, that's Nettie. Thank you, my lovely Nettie. Sheila, hello, my lovely. Who's your favourite Poirot actor? David Suchet. Marple actress, Joan Hickson. Thank you very much. Where is she? The beautiful Joan. I had a book of hers out. There she is. The one, the only. Yeah. And if you get her on an audiobook, she reads them. On Audible, you can get some Joan Hickson. And oh, they're just wonderful. They're wonderful. Are you going to see the new version of Murder on the Orient Express? I did see it, and it was okay. Okay. And what is your favourite? This is from Brit in Wonderland. What is your favourite Harry Potter book? It's the 6th one, Half-Blood Prince. Quotes. I don't really do quotes. How was your reading habits when you were a teenager? Did you read as much as you do now? Yes. I read all the time, and I reread, and I reread, and I reread. So my habits were, if I liked a book, I would read it, and then there's a good chance I would just reread it. I was always looking for more books when I was a teenager. That was my biggest problem when I was a teenager. It wasn't the fact I read so quickly, and I would obsessively read. Did you read as much as you do now? I probably read more then. I was such a booky person. If you could take one book to a desert island, what would it be? I would probably take a non-fiction spiritual book. I would probably take... Bear with. Here we are. Nature of Personal Reality by Jane Roberts. That's what I would take. Giveaway. Did you ever read a book in school that you were really taken by and remember? Yes. It was The French Lieutenant's Woman by John Fowles. I loved it. I also found Sons and Lovers by... I can't remember his name. It's D.L. Lawrence. I can't remember now. Have I got that somewhere? I've got that somewhere. Sons and Lovers. Yes. I thought that was quite... Both of those were... if not, how do you feel about books that were mandatory to read? And no problem, I would always read anything. I would read anything. I loved Mary Poppins when I was at secondary school, so yes. Candice, so thank you very much. Who was that from? Oh, I can't remember. Candice, hello. How are your bookshelves arranged? They are in certain categories. I'd have to walk you around. So Candice, if you could just pop over. They're very much set in type. If I could have the bookshelves of my dream, I would very much do them as you would in a bookshop. To be honest, I would do author A to Z. I would do fiction authors A to Z. I would have romance as a separate category. I would have crime. I would have science fiction and fantasy. I would have mind, body and spirit. I would have gardening. I worked in a bookshop for years, so I automatically, if I'm honest, organise books as you would find in my local bookshop. So that's how I do. There we go. Right, one last question, and we will do a hair question, because I did get quite a few. Right, Teresa. Hello, Teresa. First, I love your hair. I love yours too. You're growing out mine. Well done, you. How long did it take you to grow yours to the length it is now? Probably about 4 years. My hair grows very quick. I have very, very quick growing hair. So it probably is, because it's pretty much one length. And I would say about 4 or 5 years. How often do you wash it? Once, maybe twice a week. You can always tell on the days where it's due a wash because it goes up. How do you control the frizz? I blow dry it down. I sleep with my hair up or tied back. So a lot of people's frizz is because of how they sleep with their hair. So I either tie it back into a plait and have it like that, or I sleep with it up, and that stops the frizz. I don't use products on my hair because it makes it feel sticky, and I blow dry it down, and I do sometimes straighten, but even if I blow dry, I always blow dry down. Never blow dry up or from the side, blow dry down. There we go. And I'm gonna leave it there. So there we go. That's some fabulous questions. I did get lots of other really fabulous questions, and what I'm going to do is over the next coming months I will come back and I will look for people's questions and I will answer them as and when, and I will put them into other videos so that your questions will get answered at some point, but this will be the last question and answer video because it is quite long and there's a limit to how much you want to sit and hear me talk at you. If there was a question you were, oh sorry, itchy nose. If there was a question you were really dying to know the answer to, I'm not sure what it would be, then please put it in the comments below and I will make a note and I will make sure I answer it. So there we go. This has been lovely. I hope I've opened a little bit and illuminated a little bit of my reading habits. Oh, there was one question I did want to answer and I will answer it now. Because a lot of people ask me this kind of question. They ask me how much I read, how quickly I read, how do I fit it all in? And this is a recent discovery for me, but I don't vocalise my reading in my head. So it is really common, I gather, for people when they read to read it out loud. So you vocalise it, so it's sub-vocalisation in your head. I don't do that, and I've never done it. And I didn't know that other people did it because I've never done it. So that is one of the reasons why I read as quickly as I do, is that I don't read it out loud. So if you are somebody that does that, you will read the speed of a book of being read out loud, so it will take you so many hours. I don't. And reading without reading it out loud in your head means you read phenomenally quicker. You can take in a lot more. Now, I had a problem when I was 9 and 10. Their school contacted my mum and dad and said, Louise's reading is unusual, and she has an unusual reading disorder, because when she reads out loud, I used to miss all the connecting words. So anything small like it, as, but, if, I just wouldn't say them out loud. Unless I really slowed down and concentrated, I would miss out words. But my comprehension was fantastic, and it was because I was reading what my eyes were picking out. So I would read out loud very quickly, but miss out all of these words, and they were words that my brain just accepted. And luckily, and they suggested, the school's idea was to stop me reading as much. Yes, I know. So luckily, I was the fourth of my mum and dad's children, and they went, oh, don't be so ridiculous, and let me read as much as I wanted, knowing my comprehension was absolutely superb. So there was no problems with my reading. It was just that particular teacher not used to somebody who read as much as I did. So I didn't know it was unusual. It wasn't until I was actually watching booktube channels and people were talking about how to speed up your reading. And Reading with Pugs actually did a video about teach yourself to not read the books out loud. And I was thinking, well, I don't. And I said to the husband, but I don't. And he said, no, you don't. And that's one of the reasons why you're so quick. I always and like so many people, read it out loud. And I spoke to my brother because he does a lot of creativity in management training, and he said it is a technique that he teaches, is to teach yourself not to read out loud. So there we go. I offer that as an answer to one of the reasons why I manage to read so quickly, is that I never read out loud when I'm reading. It does mean I don't retain quotes as well, because I don't hear it in my head. I don't think I retain quotes in the same way that other people do. I always have to go back and find the moment. I also think it's one of the reasons why I reread as much as I do, because it's still an interesting experience for me. But my comprehension is as good as anybody else. So it's an unusual thing, and you can teach yourself to do it, I gather. But I seem to do it naturally. And anyway, there we go. So I just wanted to add that in because I did get quite a few questions about that. And somebody did ask me, do you self-vocalise? And I was like, no, I don't. I just... And I don't know how to teach you how to do it because it's something I've always done. But there we go. So there we go, BitTube. This is it. This is it. Finally, we're stopping. We're stopping. I'm going to pack up. I'm going to put all these books away. I've got books everywhere. And I look forward to seeing you again on another day. Let's do this again, BitTube.